to Speed Scene Live, the #1 online drag racing TV show and the only show dedicated to the sportsman racer. Brought to you by Curry Rear Ends, M&H Tires, Hedman Hustler Headers, Aeromotive Fuel Systems, and thefote.com. With your hosts, Diana Might, Bruce Barker, Scott Lucky Hudson, Alex the Car Girl Rogeo, Hot Rod Bob Beck, plus Dar Hawthorne and Donnie Couch.
Hey, how you doing, everybody? Welcome to another night of Speed Scene Live. I'm live and in studio with the wonderfully beautiful Bruce Barker.
I'm driving this car right here. See that car?
You are? Oh, my gosh, Bruce. Again? It's rubber side down and shiny side up, boy.
That's right. Exactly how it's not supposed to be.
That's right.
Unless the rubber is shiny.
Well, that could be. And if you were spinning it hard enough, maybe it would be.
Yeah.
But that's not the case. Welcome to Speed Scene Live. It's another Tuesday night under the lights, high atop the Speed Scene studios here in North Hollywood.
You know, here's a non-surprise. Line 1's ringing. Should we get it live on the air?
Let's get that live on the air.
This is live television, folks. Hello, welcome to Speed Scene Live. Who is this?
It's Steve McDaniel from the 24 Hours of Lemons.
Steve, you are just on time, and we opened the show with you. We decided not to just answer the phone and put you on hold. We're going to open you up and just bring you right on live. We're glad you could call in. Where are you calling from tonight?
I'm actually on the side of the road in Buttonwillow, California at the lovely TA truck stop, driving back from Vegas, and I didn't quite make it back to the Bay Area.
Ah, okay. Well, we thank you for calling in. We're going to talk about this great racing series that you're part of called the 24 Hour of Le Mans, and it's Lemone, or M-O-N-S.
It is pronounced lemons.
Lemons.
Just like the fruit.
Lemons.
It is truly lemons.
Okay. And, you know, we're looking at some of the video right now, or the still photos of the guys. This is great. I read about this a number of years ago, and I've always thought, well, this is something I wanted to do. I hadn't realized when I first read about it, I thought it was just a one-track situation. But you're at multiple tracks doing this.
Yeah, we run this year. There's 19 events on the schedule. Well, there's 20 events on the schedule. 19 of those are in the United States, and we actually have our very first event in Australia this year. So, yeah, we get far and wide.
That's going to be cool. Now, give us the premise or the basic concept of the 24 Hour of Lemons.
Lemons was based originally on the concept that, you know, racing, mainstream, competitive motorsports is really just too serious. People don't have enough fun with it. And so we feel that, you know, racing should not be the exclusive domain of rich idiots. It should be for all idiots. And so we accept anyone with a driver's license and a $500 car. We welcome everyone.
All right, so you don't need an SCCA competition license. You don't have to have an IMSA license. You have to have $500 of a helmet, a fire suit, and the desire to go crash them and bash them.
Yeah, exactly. We do discourage crashing so much, but you do need safety equipment. You do need a roll cage, but your initial investment of the vehicle is $500. You know, depending on how cool the vehicle is, we're a little arbitrary about that. If you bring something really cool, just a street driver's license, no special competition license. You do have to have full fire suit, and each car is inspected at every event for safety. And once it passes the safety tag, you're free to go out and break it at will.
All right, now here's a Rambler. Now, I understand they're not really high-dollar vehicles, but, man, this thing had to have been more than $500.
Wow.
This is a cool four-door Rambler. I don't know which model it is. I don't think anyone in their right mind knows what model a Rambler is. But
you're right. Look at that. All the stainless is there. Yeah.
This is like old NASCAR.
Oh, that's a neat idea. You're right. It's like old NASCAR.
Well, except those. Those are all crash car.
Holy cow.
Yeah, we got an Alpha and I don't know what in polka dot.
Yeah, Steve, we're looking at the top car. Obviously, you can't see it on your phone, but
maybe it was a Miata with a Mercedes grill.
Maybe that's what it was. I think you're right.
Yeah, kind of could be.
Yeah. But, so, Steve, you're talking about, you know, at various tracks and the events. How do you guys scope out what track you're going to be at next? And there must be a whole lot of legwork involved in getting each 24 Hour of Lemons happening.
Yeah, the events are generally planned, up to a year in advance, usually in November. So the schedule comes out, and it's all predetermined for the year exactly what events we're going to run and on what weekends. And then the crew simply flies out usually the Thursday before and sets everything up and runs the event.
Now, you've run at some of the West Coast tracks here in Southern California. Is it truly a 24-hour race, or how long of a race is it?
Well, actually, most of the races are around 14 to 15 hours. We generally run, 8 or 9 hours on Saturday, and then we'll run a shorter day on Sunday. Usually once a year we do have a full 24-hour race, and that one's actually coming up this weekend in Chicago. I'm flying out actually on Thursday to go out and race in that event and do a little work as well. But generally once a year we run a full 24, and it moves around the country. Last year or the year before it was in Texas. In California we run them at Reno. So it moves around, and this year it's in Chicago.
All right. Tell me, okay, now we're watching a Ford, or not a Ford, but a Chrysler minivan right now.
Right.
Are there any classes?
There are 3 classes for the different speed levels of cars. The C cars are the slowest, and the A cars are the fastest, and the B ones fall in the middle somewhere. We call it the good, the bad, and the ugly class, the ugly being the C cars, of course. And but generally, all the classes generally have pretty good competition levels.
Now, Steve, do you actually base those different classes on what the car could do when it was new? Or, I mean, how do you judge, for instance, if we're looking at a Chevy Impala or a Caprice in the front row here, and it's pretty bashed up. It might be running on 4 cylinders for all we know, although some, I think, came with 4s by then. But how do you judge what car is going to be in what class? And some of these things are awful beaters.
Yeah, they are. We pull it out of our asses at the last minute usually. We do have a crew of people that work each event that are called the judges. They're the Lemon Supreme Court, and they look at the car. They take into consideration the performance possibilities of it, and the driver, the teams. We look at the teams because some of the teams are really, really good, and they can take a really bad car and do well with it. Some of the teams, you could give them a NASCAR stock car, and they couldn't finish in the top 20. So, we have to look at everything. And then, again, it's very arbitrary. Sometimes they fool us, but generally we're pretty good at picking them out and putting them in the right class.
Now, how many cars do you normally have show up for a race?
It depends. It depends on the region of the country and the size of the track. Actually, last September at Thunder Hill Raceway up near Willows, California, we set a Guinness Book World Record for 216 starts. 216 flags, took the green flag at the start of the race, and that's an official Guinness World Record.
Wow. Now, that's a traffic jam.
Yeah, well, that is a 5.2-mile racetrack, so it's actually pretty spread out. We put 180 cars on Sonoma's Raceway, which is just barely 2 miles, so that's even the traffic there is a little worse. Out on the East Coast, we generally run 140 or so cars. Some of the more far-flung racetracks, Denver, up in the Northwest near Seattle, the Midwest states, we run between 60 and 80, 90, 100. So it varies a little bit.
Now, that's still a heck of a turnout. Now, what does it cost to enter one of your races?
Well, the entry fees are basically $1,200 for the team, and then, of course, whatever expense you have of building the car is above and beyond that. Once you have the car built, it gets a lot cheaper. Entry fees are $1,200. Of course, you're going to need fuel. You're probably going to need brakes and tires for just about every race, depending on your car and how badly you abuse it at the racetrack, those things. But you can generally run, once you have your car built, you could run a whole race weekend for $2,000 probably, and split between 4 to 6 people. It's really not that expensive.
All right, we're watching a lot of interesting off-the-wall type things here, like an Audi R8 on fire, a Mustang doing a burnout in a parking lot, finding the Armco. But we're looking at some interesting cars and people. This is a festival, not just a race.
Yeah, it is. That's actually the great thing about the 24 Hours of Lemons is the camaraderie in the paddock and how the people get along and share parts and share knowledge. And we'll just love to hang out with each other and have a little fun now and then. We do have rules against stunting and sploding. We kind of discourage them from blowing things up in the paddock. But things do get a little spirited sometimes.
Yeah, I can imagine. Now, how do you score a race? I mean, do you have transponders or in the cars, or do you have someone marking off every time car 45 goes by?
No, we do have modern day up to the latest technology of transponders, and we strap them to each and every car, and then we use the time and scoring computer programs to keep track of everybody and determine exactly where they're running.
And where can they go to find out information about getting involved in this? Because I'll tell you what, I've tossed about this a number of times myself, and I'm gonna talk to some friends about doing something, because as we talked, I'm not necessarily a straight line driver. I talk a lot about drag racing, but my background was SCCA and things of that nature, getting involved in road racing type things. So where does
24 Hours of Lemons, absolutely everything you need to know about us is on our website, 24hoursoflemons.com. And you can sign up for a race there. You can join the forums and go in and get a little more immersed in the Lemons culture. And you can buy safety equipment there, fire suits, all that stuff. So everything's on our website.
And now let's just say, like me, I don't necessarily have a bunch of friends that may be ready to do this. Would I be able to find other teams that are looking for co-conspirators, I guess you'd say?
Yeah, absolutely. That is actually the best way to get started in Lemons. Go to our website and join the forums. Pick yourself out a handle, and we have two separate sections in the forum. One is called Teams Looking for Drivers, and the other one's called Drivers Looking for Teams. We try to keep things simple here, and so if you click on either one of those, depending on what you're looking for, it's called an arrive and drive, and it's a very popular way to get started in Lemons. You show up at the race for an arranged price. The car is delivered there, ready to race. You join the team, go out and run the event, and if you like it, which most people generally do, then they go out and build their own car. Or you can just keep doing arrive and drives around the country. A lot of my early races, I traveled, and I still do, around the country, and just showed up to race random cars with random teams. And it's actually a great way to get to know the people of Lemons and understand the camaraderie that we have. And it's a great way to get started.
Have any pro drivers ever gone undercover and run the 24-hour of Lemons?
We've had a few well-known names. I won't embarrass them by calling them out on the interwebs, but occasionally they do. Probably no one at the upper echelons of racing, but every now and then, I mean, you get people show up. We actually had Neil Peart, the drummer from
Rush.
Rush, showed up at a race to race with us, just unknown. We have celebrities show up occasionally, but no one really big has come to grace us with their presence yet. But we are welcome. They are welcome to join us anytime.
Now, how long has this organization been around?
They ran the first race back in 2007 at Altamont Speedway.
Okay.
And it's slowly grown into the nationwide thing that it is now. It just started with one event and really didn't have a future, but they just thought it would be a one-off thing, just something fun to do. But it was so popular and everybody had such a great time that they just kept adding more and more events, and now it's grown into a nationwide cult of stupidity.
Steve, it should be pointed out that you guys have some remarkably clever videos at 24hoursoflemons.com. A lot of the segments are presented in this sort of TV show, racing show format where I would assume it's you, maybe not. Anyway, there's a couple of co-hosts on there, and you guys have green screen, just these impossible, ridiculous backgrounds like Major League Baseball games and stuff like that. Who is that on screen? And just mainly to let people know that all that is happening at your website as well.
Yeah, those are our wrap-up videos, and we do one of those for every race that we run. Usually it takes a few weeks to get them all hammered out and get them out on the internet. But yeah, they're great fun. That is actually Jay Lamb and Nick Pond, and they are the two of the early conspirators that got this whole thing started, and they're the main guys, kind of run the whole show at Lemons HQ, and come out to a lot of the races and do various things there. And yeah, those guys are really funny. Those wrap-up videos are hilarious. And yeah, we really enjoy, we enjoy having fun. And if you can't poke fun at yourself and laugh a little bit, then this is definitely not what you want to be doing.
Well, I've seen some interesting cars, and I've seen some high-dollar cars, what I would consider a relatively high-dollar car for the type of event. I've seen 914 Porsches, a couple of Z cars. And there's a K car being pushed by, so that had the heated roof option, so the guys wouldn't get their hands cold while they were pushing it. But
that's right.
There's all sorts of cars there, so you've got no limit as to what type of. If someone wants to bring out a brand new car, is that possible?
Well, the rules do state that any legally produced car made for the street that was legal to drive on the street when it was produced is eligible. Now, if you bought a brand new car, we would just slap you with 5 billion penalty laps, and we would let you go race as long as you weren't being stupid. If somebody brings a really fast car, we slap them with penalty laps, and we punish them severely, and they either get the idea and bring something new, or they go race somewhere else where that car is welcomed.
Yeah, now I've seen all sorts of cars, station wagons, two-doors, sports cars, Volvos. Whoever thought of racing a
little bit of everything, yeah. The minivans, SUVs. I mean, we get loads of things.
Yeah, in fact, I think maybe the favorite I've seen so far, because it's so unusual to begin with, and then they made it even more so, is there's an AMC Marlin, I think.
Yeah, the blue Marlin with the holes in it.
Yeah, with the holes in it, and I think that's the Blucifer team.
Yeah. I actually, it's funny you bring that up. I actually did that to that car. That is a long-standing, legendary team in the 24 Hours of Lemons, Speed Holes Racing. They're out of the Denver area, and they're very good friends of mine. And I actually went out there the week before the race and put that paint job on the car. Me and Aaron Holdaway, who runs that team, actually came up with that idea on the way back from the airport on Tuesday before the race. So that was kind of the last-minute thing, but it came out really, really well.
Yeah, in fact, it looked like the holes were punched and then, sort of leveled off. They aren't just holes, they're chamfered so that they drop down in.
Exactly, they're beveled. It's some kind of machine. I forget what he called it. For stamping metal, and it actually bevels the edge as it cuts it off. And the holes have been in the car for years. That's how they, Speed Holes Racing. But that's actually has a Chevrolet 454 in it, basically sitting in the passenger compartment. You drive from the back seat. When you're strapped into that race car, it is 9.5 feet to the front bumper.
Oh, holy cow!
Well, at least you're
from your nose to the front bumper is 9.5 feet. It's really stupid, but it's really fun to drive.
Yeah, that's got to be an interesting viewpoint, though, because you always have your. Where do you set the front wheels for an apex? I mean, come on, you can't even see them.
Well, it's actually incredibly well built, and the engine kind of is offset slightly to the passenger side. You have plenty of room for your feet in there. The pedals are a little cramped, but when you're driving something with a 454 in it, you can handle a little bit of inconvenience,
this may be an unfair question because there's so many weird oddball machines running in the 24 Hour of Lemons, but Steve, do you have a favorite vehicle that's entered in one of these races that has ever been seen at one of the races?
Oh, that is such a tough question. People ask me that all the time, and I'm very biased to certain vehicles for certain reasons. We see new stuff all the time that simply blows you away, and you would not believe some of the ingenuity and the engineering and fabrication that goes into some of these things. But I'm kind of a purist, and I have to say that my absolute favorite vehicle is the Killer Zombie, which is I think it's a 1978 MGB rubber bumper, all original, 4-cylinder, 4-speed. It's a legendary little car, and it's probably the most fun I've ever had on a racetrack. It's not very fast, but it's an amazing little vehicle.
No, it's just a matter of making laps. I can imagine a lot of people they're just out there having fun. They're not really going all that fast, but getting spun out into the dirt or off the corner. But it just looks like a whole lot of fun.
It is. It is a lot of fun, and you would actually kind of be surprised at the level of competition involved from the paddock and even from the stands when you're looking at it. And you can't help but be drawn to the cars that are really slow and the ones that are really flashy. And usually those are the slow ones. But the competition level is actually pretty high, and a lot of the teams they get out there and get it done. So it's always competitive.
Now you have a number of races. You said this year, is there a championship? Or is there just...
There is. We track all the points for all the teams and even the individual drivers throughout the year. We have regional champions, we have a national champion, and we have a national drivers champion at the end of every year.
Okay. All right. So they can go to 24hoursoflemons.com. Is that what the website is?
Yep, that's it.
And then you've got a Facebook page as well?
We do.
And get involved. I think I'm going to get on the forum. I think I'm going to start looking for a ride. This looks like fun.
Yeah, definitely come out and play with us, man. You won't regret it. It's a really good time. Good people.
Now, what is the local tracks you run at here in Southern California?
We run at Buttonwillow. We run at Thunder Hill near Willows, and we run in Sonoma at I guess what's it called now? Sonoma Raceway.
It's always going to be Sears Point to me. I mean, come on.
Yeah, and in fact, it looks like your Thunder Hill race, you got one coming up September 12th and 13th on your website.
Yeah. And that'll be a great race. We will probably have a new record field. We'll probably have 230, 240 cars there, and it's a 5-mile racetrack, and always a good time up there in Thunder Hill. So, yeah, come up and see us.
I think I might try and do that. Now, just out of curiosity, you've got 3 classes. Do you mix them in with everybody, or do you start them one class in front of another?
Oh, no, we all race all at the same time. Yeah, we throw the green, and everybody gets it done, and we just sort them out at the end of the day.
And a lot of tow trucks.
Yeah, well, that happens. When you're racing $500 cars, there's going to be some attrition.
Yeah.
And over the course of the weekend, that can vary between 30 to 60% of the entrants.
Oh, man.
But it's low buck racing at its best. Steve, I do appreciate you calling in. 24 Hour of Lemons. You got to go see this or participate. Don't just watch.
God, look at that. Is that
a Hudson?
It's a Hudson, for Pete's sake.
It's a Hudson Hornet.
Oh, man.
All right, Steve, thank you very much for calling in. Speed Scene Live, we're glad you could be here.
Thanks for having me. It was a pleasure.
Take care now.
Dang, you're right, Bob. That would be such a thrill. And, there's a few cars I've owned over the years that would be perfect in that race.
You've got a flip-top Ford we could use. No, huh?
See, that's how I've approached that Rambler that we saw just a second ago. It's like, I don't know. Do you want to beat that thing up anymore?
No, it looks too nice.
Yeah, that's a toughie. That's where it comes into, destruction derbies have always been sort of a pleasure and pain for me because while I know that a lot of the cars are just these brute force Detroit iron cars,
right?
You look back 20 years later and you go, oh, what did we do?
You look at that. I remember watching Ascot on TV. Ascot Park was a dirt track oval track here in Southern California for decades upon decades. And when I was a kid and I first moved down to California, it was on television every weekend.
I did not know that.
Yes, and I could watch and they call it jalopy racing.
Huh.
And you look at all those 40 Fords, 36 Fords, the Chevy Coupes, all the cars of that era of the 30s and 40s that gave up their bodies for these jalopies that would roll over and get crushed, crashed. And it morphed into what now I guess we call hobby stock to an extent. But it was the earlier years of the minor league of NASCAR.
Yeah. And of course, people might look back to now and say the same thing about hoofing it out on tracks everywhere and just banging up. And I guess it'll always be this way.
Yeah, but it's going to be, it's fun, it's racing, and you got to start with something. And in the case of 24 Hours of Lemons, I like their idea, a $500 car.
Me too.
I mean, at that point, it's not worth saving anyway.
Yeah.
So you might as well go for it. Hey, we're going to go from racing to rotting, and we've got Rebecca Nunes on the phone with us. She's going to talk to us about an event that's been going on for decades here in Southern California. It's called the Great Labor Day Cruise. And Rebecca, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Bob. How are you guys doing over there? It looks like you're having a lot of fun tonight.
We always have fun here on Speed Scene Live, especially when we do gas. And right now, we've got gas for a whole hour. The Great American Auto Scene. It's kind of spread out over the show. We're going to do a lot. We're going to talk about a lot of things. We just talked about road racing, as you were watching and listening to, and now we're going to talk about the Great Labor Day Cruise. And I have been a participant at that. I haven't been there the last couple of years because of work issues, but I have been there since the second one.
Wow!
And it
wow,
was great.
you actually. I was looking at 1984, 85, I believe, was the first one that we ever went to.
Yeah.
As a family, and my family has been going ever since. It's an amazing event.
It is, and I remember when they started putting it on. It was Bo G, the T-shirt people, and Bob and his wife were putting that on with the at the time it was the Orange County Cruising Association.
Well, we're still the Orange County Cruising Association, but the show is the Great Labor Day Cruise.
Right.
The OCCA-Inc.com is where we are.
Okay.
At the website. And we're in our 33rd year. I've been a part of it. Like I said, I was going when I was 5.
That is so cool.
Yeah. Dad was towing you along there, yeah.
And so it's just a family event that we love, that I'm passionate about since I've been there so long. We've never missed one as my family. And I got the opportunity a couple years ago to come on board and help them with this. This is a completely volunteer-based event. We're not for profit, none whatsoever. Our charity this year is a great charity called Warrior Foundation Freedom Station. It's a interesting charity. It helps the guys coming back from overseas or wherever they're enlisted at transition back into regular civilian life if they've had a problem. Maybe it's PTSD or, they've lost a limb or something like that. And it's based out of San Diego, so they get the guys coming from Miramar and stuff right there. And the guys, some of the volunteers had a chance to go down and visit them, and they were just overwhelmed by the quality and the amount of commitment that these volunteers down there have to our warriors. So we're excited to bring them on board this year as our choice charity.
Well, that's great, and that is appreciated. Now, the Great Labor Day Cruise started out, and it was the largest one-day show in Southern California when it started. It is still one of the largest one-day shows, because is it a one-day show now, or is it multiple days?
It's actually one of the largest and longest-running 3-day events
3 days.
in the nation.
Okay.
We start Friday at noon, so that's September 4th, and we go through Sunday, September 6th this year.
Well, okay. Rebecca, you know what? You guys, it's obviously been in a function running for a whole lot of years. Has there been issues because you get so many attendees, so many people, so many great cars? Do you ever worry about space requirements and having to move the show to bigger and bigger places?
We have plenty of room at the fairgrounds. One unique thing about our event is we offer the camping aspect. We have 210 campsites that are range about 60 feet long, so you can put 2 cars plus your 40-plus foot motorhome or whatever you've got in your campsite. And we also have that quarter-mile cruise, which you guys are seeing right now. That's actually one of my cars as I'm videoing through the cruise.
Oh, nice.
Early one morning, so like everybody's not crazy yet.
Yeah.
So you can drive through the event, and cruising starts, like I said, noon on Friday. And last year, we were walking. All of our volunteers for the organization were walking by Saturday about probably 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning because the cruise lane was so packed with people.
Wow.
Space-wise, we have plenty of space. We could move, and jockey around some stuff if we needed more space. So we average about 1,200 cars a year. And we have plenty of room for all of that. And
it's a great venue. It's Orange County Fairgrounds in Costa Mesa. It's a beautiful location. You're not too far from the ocean, so the temperatures stay relatively cool in the heat of the Labor Day weekend. There's lots to do right there. Now, tell me something. Do you have any other activities going on besides just the cruising and the parking and looking at the cars?
Well, Friday night we have a movie on the OC Promenade, so everybody's bringing a chair. We're watching Grease this year.
Nice.
And of course, iconic car movie right there.
Mm-hmm.
And then Saturday we have 2 sessions with a local band who are actually hot rodders. They're called Joey and the Monsoons. Very surf music, very great. But the focus, obviously is the cars and the cruising. We have vendors there as well, and of course we have a fabulous raffle table going on. I just got some art from a great local artist for the raffle table, so we're excited about that.
Good.
And then we also have the giveaway car.
Oh.
We elected to do a 2-year build on it because we wanted it to look so nice. It's a 1960 Bel Air coupe. The pictures are in the live stream that I sent you.
Right, that's the illustration, yeah.
Yeah, the illustration. This year we're displaying the chassis with the motor and the transmission and all of the, there it is. It's going to be a beautiful car. I'm so excited because from start to finish, I'm involved with this project as well.
Wow.
We're going to have the chassis on display. It's fully powder coated. We're having the suspension set up, so it's kind of like an air ride suspension on it. It's going to have a 350 with a 700 R4 in it. It's got Mike Curtis wheels on it, which we're excited about. Those should be done this week for us. Kumho tires.
Kumho tires. And Mike Curtis, for those of you who don't remember him, he was the guy that built the wheels for Boyd Coddington. He was the guy that set up the CAD CAM drawings.
Is that right?
Yeah, he actually is down the street from my shop.
Oh, okay. And your shop is?
My shop is Classic Whitewall Tires, and my hot rod building division is White Walls and Hot Rods, and I'm really proud that the boys came on board to help with this project.
Good.
Hey, so Rebecca, you did mention your cars. I think we'll see some of those later. Can you tell us about your cars?
My car debuted in 1998 at this show. I have a 1955 150 Chevy coupe, or sedan. It's the utility sedan, so it's a 3-passenger. This year, I'm debuting my new motor, which I'm incredibly excited about. I have a 355 with a Magnum supercharger on it now.
Dang!
Wow.
Yeah, I kind of stepped up in power. When you come from a racing background, kind of, I haven't raced in a couple of years, but you get behind the wheel of your street car, you really want that little bit of power. And I've had power before, but this thing is like, kick in the pants.
Well, let's see, if I remember correctly, now I knew you by name racing at Irwindale, but I'd never seen you out of the car there. But then 1 year or 2 years, I actually announced the autocrossing at the Labor Day Cruise, and you were autocrossing that 55.
Yes, I did a lot of damage to that poor car during the autocrosses. I'm still trying to get all the squeaks and knocks out of it. The boys said no more autocrossing for me. But yeah, I did a couple of years when we had the autocross out there. I did participate in that, and that was fun. And I told my husband that he needs to build me an autocross car, and he's got a 71 Chevelle that would do great, but he says no, so he doesn't want to give up his car for me.
Now, is the autocross still part of the Labor Day Cruise, or is that also moved on to different things?
Unfortunately, not this year. We still have, we worked through years, and there's always, certain issues that come up or scheduling conflicts with the series that was running last year. Mm-hmm. So we weren't able to bring them back, but we're always open to events like that. We've had, driving games in the past, of course.
Sure.
You just passed Christian Rod and Creston. They do their church services on Sunday morning as well. So they're involved. It's a fun event. It's casual. It's relaxing because, honestly, if you take your camper, you don't have to leave from Thursday to Sunday.
Right.
I don't leave the fairgrounds unless I run out of gas, which I have done. Show.
Yeah, the cruising goes on throughout the show, and it wraps around the fairgrounds. It's great. I got involved in it. I've done the cruising as well. The first couple of years that I went to the show, I didn't have a car yet. I was still building it. So it was, I was just one of the spectators that came in, and there are lots of spectators. Here's the line of cars coming in on one of the days, and I don't know how early in the morning this was, but...
That's actually 12 noon on Friday last year. I sat my
Really?
tushy down in a chair and videoed for about probably 30 minutes the line of cars coming into the event.
Hard to believe.
And you look at some of the cars; they're great. I think wasn't that the custom builder out of God. Yes, I've gone mental blank here.
Yeah.
But that's his Cadillac out of the Mojave area.
Yes. Oh, it's a Winfield.
Gene
Cadillac,
Winfield.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, and he's one of the vendors that's always there, along with others. I mean, you'll fill up that place with vendors and cars, and like you said, 1,200 cars. That's the size of 6 regular car shows.
Yeah, that is.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy. And obviously, customs and bone stock cars, you get them all.
Now, what does it cost to enter?
The car cost is $75 for the full weekend.
Okay.
That's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then there's also a one-day pass if you can't make it for the whole weekend, which is $45.
Mm-hmm.
That includes 2 people and 2 one dash plaque and 2 cruise mugs, which we're famous for.
Mm-hmm.
We use those cruise mugs ourselves all year round. And then if just general admission is $15, and then we have a military discount, so they're $13 for military, and then kids under 12 are free.
Okay.
And we also have a general admission 3-day pass, which is $30, which a lot of people take advantage of.
Yeah, that's a good break.
On it.
Does that entrance fee include the drawing then that you have for the '60s Chevy, or is that something separate?
The drawing for the '60s Chevy is something separate. That is it's $1 a ticket, and you can buy them in books of 10. We actually on our website occa-inc.com is a place that whoever wants to order them can order them. And they'll ship them out to you, and you can fill them out and either drop them off in the barrel at the show, or you can send them back and we'll drop them off for you.
That's cool.
In the show.
And when will the drawing for the car be?
The drawing for the car is actually going to be 2016. We have the chassis is being put together right now, and will be done for the show, and then we're working on the body next. We just wanted to make it look like a real nice car.
That's going to be cool.
Your time wasn't enough for us this year.
Yeah, I could imagine, because you're doing it all volunteer. These aren't professional builders that are just saying, okay, we got to build this car. It's not the Boyd Coddington show where, okay, we got 6 weeks to build a car. Go.
Right, and here's a big budget to do it in.
Yeah, and here's the checkbook. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we don't really have a budget because the car and the proceeds for the car go to our charity Warrior Foundation. And that's one reason that we build the cars is to give them a substantial amount. So all of the volunteer shops that we have, I've got me, I've got Autotech, I've got GNR Customs, J&S Gears, ABS Power Brakes is on board. He's doing I believe 14.5-inch disc brakes on all 4 corners of this bad boy.
That's going to stop the one.
Driveline Inc. Catherine, the radiator lady's coming on board this year to give us the radiator for the car.
And I'll tell you, her stuff's good. I just put one of hers in my car, and world of difference. We had her on the show, as a matter of fact, a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I listened to that one. It was great. I talked to her, and she's done some radiators for some of my customers, so that's how I got hooked up with her. Olympic Powder Tote in Santa Ana is doing all our powder toting for us this year. So it's a great mix of local car people and local shops, and we like it that way so we can keep everybody, local and keep it, organic, really, into the area. So those that have volunteered and are helping are at the show, and they've been at the show for years.
Okay, well, that's great. All right, the dates again?
The date is Friday, September 4th through Sunday, September 6th. Starts noon on Friday.
Okay. And camping, when do you have to get there?
Sorry.
When do you have to get there to get your motorhome in or campsite?
Camping starts Thursday.
Okay.
And so as vendor runs roll in. We do have some camping spots available. That's all on our website as well. If people, it's still not too late to get into the show and enjoy yourselves in the show.
Good. All right, and it's going to be great. You're going to be there with all your cars. And
yeah, I'm taking way too many cars for as many drivers as I have. So I'm taking I know the Chevelle is going. The Chevelle never stopped running last year. My husband was in that car constantly. My 55, my all-girl car club, Octane Angels, will be out there with a couple of theirs. My dad will have his 56 Olds four-door hardtop out there.
Mm-hmm.
We have a couple of shop cars coming out for display. We have a really great 42 Ford three-person coupe that's coming out. Very rare car, very pretty car, and hopefully the 27 Roadster pickup will come out as well.
Man,
right,
see, you've discovered the trick to getting all those cars. Bob, I don't know about you. That was always my problem. Is if I had several cars ready, which was rare, it's like, oh, now who do I get to drive these? Who isn't going to break them or something? Yeah, but
we do the car relay. We put the motorhome down first, and then we only live 20 minutes away from the fairground, so the motorhome goes down first, and then my mom drives us back and forth as we're bringing all these cars down. Last year, I think we took 8 cars and had 4 drivers. So.
Dang.
All right, Rebecca, thank you very much for calling in the Great Labor Day Cruise at Orange County Fairgrounds. This year, 1,200 cars, an untold number of people. Be there, be part of this Great Labor Day weekend event. Like you said, motorhome move in on Thursday. Cars start coming in noon on Friday, all through Sunday. It's going to be a great weekend. Thank you very much for calling in. You can go on their website, Orange County Cruise Association, Inc.
Yeah, which I believe the short version, this is easy, OCCA-Inc.com. How about that?
There you go.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
We also keep updates on our Facebook page, the Great Labor Day Cruise, at Facebook.
Okay.
So it's great. Thank you guys for having me. It was a really fun and happy day.
Thanks, Rebecca, and we'll be talking to you soon. You got to get that car of yours back out on the drag strip, though.
Well, rumor was it was going to come out again, but then someone decided to get pregnant again, and so I'm due December 28th, so maybe next year at this time.
Maybe next year. That's what they keep telling me is practice makes pregnant.
There you go.
Exactly. This is the last one. I'm done. I want my racing stuff back.
Oh, that's funny.
All right, lady. Thank you. Take care. We'll be talking to you.
Thank you. Right.
Bye-bye.
Oh, that's a load of fun.
Oh, that is. All right, Bruce, I think we need to pay for some of our folly here.
I think we do. Wow, listen to this fabulous theme here. I think we need to hire a new band. We'll be right back with more on Speed Scene Live.
I'm Daryl Ehrlich. I just set the national speed record in top fuel drag boat racing at 262 miles an hour. Speed Scene Live, baby.
Take your vehicle's racing performance to an all-new level with a custom racing engine from Paul Williams Specialties. Put PWS's 30-plus years of experience to work on your race car, muscle car, any type of high-performance engine. PWS can build your winning combination from scratch or refresh and improve your current engine. Working on a project? Don't waste money through trial and error. Consult with Paul Williams first. Rev up your performance with Paul Williams Specialties, helping championship-level drivers become champions through better performance and reliability.
For over half a century, Currie rear-end components have been twisting out the torque and taking the punishment. And the new Currie lineup is stronger than ever. Some of the world's most capable, hardest-working vehicles depend on Currie gears, which is why you can too. Street cars, hot rods and resto rods, drag cars, rock-crawling four-wheel drive vehicles, whatever you're piloting, Currie expertise and rock-solid design means the parts will do their job, so you can do yours. Check out Currie's custom rear ends, featuring a full line of upgrades, components, and installation options. The Currie Crate rear ends lineup offers ultra-strong construction on third members and carrier assemblies, and other underside parts like correct link steering systems keep your four-wheeler pointed where you want it. Add in a wide variety of solid, purpose-built suspension and brake components, and you've got one tough, ready-to-go machine. Grab a hold of a Currie rear end. Talk to the experts at 714-367-2679 or view the complete line online at currieenterprises.com.
everyone in the armed forces that has served to defend our great country and our freedom, all of us here in the United States of America would like to offer our sincere appreciation for all that you do and all that you've done. To every family that has made a sacrifice for us, we thank you.
60 years. That's a long time for a company to do any one thing. Doing it right while sticking to your founding values. Now that takes hard work and dedication. For 60 years, Hedman's all-American workforce has been devoted to manufacturing the very best headers any team of craftsmen can build. That's 60 years of cutting, 60 years of bending, 60 years of welding, more than 2 million in all. And every set made right here at home. At Hedman Headers, we build all American horsepower, then back it up for life. Hedman Headers, made in the USA.
Welcome back to Speed Scene Live, the #1 online drag racing TV show. Brought to you by Curry Rear Ends, M&H Tires, Hedman Hustler Headers, Aeromotive Fuel Systems, and thefalt.com.
Sorry, just had a little air guitar there.
Air guitar, yeah. Pretty good when you're winged.
There you go. Yeah, not bad. Well, of course, I wasn't playing for real, as you know.
No, that's true.
Well, look at it. Apparently, I'm thirsty tonight, Bob.
Yeah, you must be. You only borrow those drinks.
Yeah, I know. You always have to give them back.
You got to give them back. Yeah, you got to recycle.
Although, luckily for the supermarket, it doesn't go back to them. It
That's
goes somewhere
true.
else. Yeah.
We had a situation kind of like that at Irwindale a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a water puddle under a Volkswagen Beetle. We knew it didn't come from the car. But that's another story altogether.
That's another story altogether, indeed. Wow, some great cars at the Great Labor Day Cruise.
I'll tell you.
So are you going to be there this year?
No, unfortunately, I've got to work, and I've got to work someplace else. But I normally do go to that event. Like I said, I announced the autocross they had for a couple of years.
Yeah. All right. Well, you got other events. We'll check out the Bob Beck schedule near the end of the show. Right now, we're picking this live on the air, just as we did with Steve much earlier. Is this Alex, the car girl Rogeo, on the phone?
It is, and I've been trying to get a hold of you guys. I'm sorry I'm late. I called the number a couple of times, and it was a construction company.
Well, that's because we're building a new studio, didn't you know?
Yeah, we're constructing a new show, and it's under... No. So you hit the... Right,
I know you guys have been stalling.
Right numbers early in the wrong order, though, right?
Yeah. Actually, Alex, it's perfect timing because we just got done talking to Rebecca Nunes with the Great Labor Day Cruise. And so I know we've got a ton of great cars to look at, but hey, catch us up to date on the Magnum. What's going on racing-wise? And then we'll take a look at this car show you guys were at a few weeks ago.
Sure. Okay, well, we were just recently at Irwindale, 8th Mile Drag Strip. Bob, of course, was announcing, and we decided to take the Magnum to the track. We haven't been there in a long time, and tested a few new things, one of which is some upgrades that we did at Magnuson Superchargers in Ventura, California, of course. And of course, we've been running the Magnuson since 2012, so it's this particular kit from Magnuson is good for 100,000 miles on the street. Now, normally, under normal circumstances, which is not what the Magnum is, the supercharger would be fine. However, we spin it way faster. We run a lot higher RPM. We have an overdrive, so we decided, let's just take it apart and look at it. So we ended up putting a whole new set of parts inside. Basically, all we kept was the original case.
Oh.
We also did some tweaking to the bypass valve of the supercharger, which basically is going to let us decide how quickly the boost of the supercharger comes in at launch. So we learned a lot, and I want to thank everybody from Magnuson for staying late and helping us get the car back together because they knew we were testing the next day. It was really, really nice of everybody at Magnuson, and we had a lot of fun in Irwindale. I hadn't been there in a long time, so It's always a party there, as Bob knows, right?
Yeah, so we have the bar in the back of the staging lanes.
What?
And,
hey,
yeah.
I didn't.
Okay, well, it's okay. It's not that
Not
much of a
much
party,
fun,
but
yeah.
what it is it's a much younger crowd than
Yep.
most other drag strips. I mean, you have to admit that, right?
Oh yeah, and it's a bunch of it's people that are coming out to watch drag racing from the street, the grassroots aspect of it.
Exactly, and it's people with their brand new cars. As you said, there was a couple of cars there that didn't even have license plates yet. That's how new they were.
Jeez.
And all they want to do is bring their brand new Mustang or Camaro out to the track, go down the 8th mile, see what it runs, and I mean, there's a couple of kids that are staging with their back tires. Whatever.
Yeah, staging with the back, and yeah, we had a lot of people that definitely had not been to a drag strip before, and,
right.
But that's what it's all about, and that's the way to learn. And I'll tell you what, we have a lot of people out there. I think the most exotic we had a guy who burn out with a Ferrari.
Is that right?
Yeah, he burned out his transmission.
I also saw a GTR out there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I see all kinds of cool cars every time I go, and I need to get out there more. We just haven't really had a Thursday on our schedule available for a while. This was the first time in a while, like I said, but we made some adjustments to the car, and we actually didn't really even get down the track fully for the whole time that we were there because the Magnuson is making so much power that we weren't quite ready for that. So, again, thank you, Magnuson. I also, really quick, just want to give a heads up. I'm actually going to be competing in another online video contest.
Really?
Yeah, so very similar to the one that we did with Champion Spark Plugs a couple of years ago.
Okay.
This is for Bell Racing. They make all kinds of helmets, all the way from Top Fuel to Sportsman Racing. They have a huge variety of helmets. That's the helmet brand that I run.
Yeah, I do
and
too.
they have a contest starting August 1st.
Okay.
20 semifinalists will be chosen to compete for internet voting. And there's no guarantee that I'll make that 20 semifinalist level, but if I do, then I will be asking for everybody's votes because it's a $10,000 grand prize.
Whoa.
And after that, second place is like a really, really high value, high dollar helmet from Bell. The prizes actually go all the way down to 5th place. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Hey, now, do people go somewhere? Last year with the champion thing, we were voting for you online. Do they do the same this year?
Yes, I believe it's bellracing.com. The voting actually doesn't open until August 1st at 12:01 a.m. And after that, I'm sure there'll be more information. They don't have a whole lot of information about how many times a day you can vote yet, but I'm sure all of that will be available when August 1st happens. But and of course, we have to reveal who the 20 finalists are first before we can say who to vote for.
That's true.
Because we don't know who made the finalist round yet. So
yeah, Bell's a pioneer in safety in helmets. That's the name I always knew, and that's like you've got a Bell helmet. I still have my early Bell Star that I was using when I was doing some left and right turn racing.
Dang.
Yeah, they've been around for a long time. I actually wrote an article about helmet safety and how helmets have evolved over the last couple of years in Mopar Max magazine. So it's funny that you say that because Bell is really a pioneer in the helmet world and the safety world as well. So
all right. Well, it looks like
the great company.
Cool. The competition is called Through the Visor, and it's prominently displayed on the homepage. So we'll get updates on that as they come available. Hey, Alex, I know you
There's
and
that beautiful
your crew
supercharger.
Chief, there's the Magnuson supercharger on the top of that motor. Man, that looks good. You guys were at some hoity-toity, way cool car show recently, and we had a bunch of images we wanted to get on Speed Scene Live. We didn't get a chance to when you were last on the show.
I know. It's always such a whirlwind of activity and talking to everybody every time we're on the show, but I think the photos that you have are from the Pasadena Toys for Tots show.
I believe you're correct.
Maybe it's Cops For Tots. I can't.
Cops For Tots.
It was several weeks ago, and we go to so many car shows a year that I kind of forget. I believe it's Cops For Tots, yes. So this was a really, really cool car show. I believe we showed footage of the Bomb Squad
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's so unique. It's like the safest car show I've ever been to. You know, there's like 300 police officers roaming the show, and have all these cool cop cars from all the way from back in the 60s. So I'm not sure what photos you are seeing because I don't want to watch the show in delay, but.
Well, we're looking at a custom interior on a car right now. We showed a Ford GT. There was a Ferrari. This car's got a sculptured leather interior. I'm not sure what the car is yet. We haven't seen the exterior of it. There's a GTO convertible right now that we're looking at. It's on the grass, a stretched limo Jag.
Look at that, an XJ6 limo.
Look at that.
How about that? So, yeah, some
That's
beautiful
funny.
cars, and I think you're right. I think it is the Cops For Tots show, and boy, some gorgeous machinery.
It's almost like a Concours d'Elegance with the caliber of car that we're seeing right now. We're looking at a 409
they had
Chevy.
some very high dollar, high caliber cars there, and it was actually at a golf course. So that's why, in case anybody in California is wondering, it was at a golf course, and that's why the grass is so green, because that's apparently their main source of income.
Yeah, in fact, I think
golfing, so they have to have green grass.
Yeah, it's the last piece of green grass in the entire state is right here on
right
this.
there on that golf course. There's no other one like it. Yeah.
That's right.
That's right.
Hey, look at that, a three-wheeled Morgan. How about that?
Well, yeah, although that's not a Morgan engine up front. That's kind of looks like a Harley.
Wow, what if? Maybe they swapped it out. Because you're right, the Morgan should have exposed push rods, right?
Yeah, that looks like a Harley Evolution motor.
Why do I know these things?
I don't know.
I don't know, but I'm glad you do, because I don't.
Yeah,
So
but
good
see,
for you.
but see, you can whoop me in a race 9 times out of 9, so
Yeah,
it's
that's
all it all
9
balances out.
times.
Yeah. And there's the old police car, the LAPD 1947, 48 Ford.
Yeah, it's a totally different bomb squad there.
There's that Ferrari we were talking about earlier.
Dang, that looks high dollar. Hey, so
I think
Alex,
it's a Ferrari. No, it's not a Ferrari. It's something else.
well, it's funny. It says Pagani on the back.
Pagani,
and I mean-
that's not a Ferrari. That's
Yeah, that's I believe that's whatever Bob said, Pagani. That's an Italian manufacturer as well, so that's probably why you thought that it was a Ferrari. But there's not very many of those cars around. I don't know what the drivetrain is. I believe it's something like a V12 or something like that. Crazy.
Dang, looks fierce.
It's a
Looks
cubic dollar
ferocious.
car. That's all I know.
Yeah, looks like I could afford 1/100th of that car.
I could take a loan out for a taillight.
Yeah. Hey, so Alex, where are you racing next? What's going on
What's
next?
Well, we're not racing for a couple of weeks. We're actually flying out on Thursday morning to Denver for the Mopar Mile High Nationals at Bandimere Speedway. That's always a really fun event, especially for Mopar people, of course.
Yeah.
It's their title event of the year, and for some reason, the Mopar cars always seem to do really well at this race, so that's cool, and I'm looking forward to seeing some real-life drag racing from the pro ranks, if you know what I'm saying. So that's fun, and we'll be back on Sunday from that. And then actually, in a couple of weeks, we're going to be heading to Bonneville, which I've never seen before. I've never seen land speed racing, so that's going to be interesting.
Well, you might want to check that. They just canceled the race.
No.
Yes.
Did they really?
Yeah, Bonneville's got canceled. The salt wasn't up to snuff.
Wait, are you?
No, I'm not kidding
joking,
you.
Or are
No,
you
no,
serious?
no. I've been. It's been in my plans to go. It's on my bucket list, and I got a note from some friends this morning that it's been canceled.
What do you mean the salt is not up to snuff? How does that?
With all the weather, the rain, and with what else is going on there, the salt has not. The surface is not good enough to race on.
Oh my goodness!
So
Don't you
they,
think,
yeah.
I'm shocked that they're not doing whatever they can between now and then to fix it.
Well, it's not like a racetrack that you can actually fix. It either is right or it's not. So
Wow.
they've had some issues up there. Last year it got rained out. This year I'm sure the weather's been an issue as well.
Wow, who knew? Apparently we humans are sort of like the dinosaurs. We can't
Yes.
control everything.
No, we can't. We've tried.
Yeah,
But anyway, Alex, we do appreciate you calling in, and I hope to see your Magnum out at Irwindale. And, now that you got that extra power, you're going to need to really, we want to see a wheel stand go up on the back wheel.
You're right.
and
That is the
scrape
ultimate
off
goal,
the
Bob.
bumper.
Thank you. Yes.
Nice. Yeah.
We're glad
All right.
to see
Well,
you out
thank
there.
you for the information on Bonneville. I appreciate
Yeah, check
that.
it out for sure. But I got a couple of notes from some people that Bonneville's been canceled this year.
Okay.
They're looking. Danny Thompson was one of the guys, and they're looking to reschedule for September.
All right.
There you have it.
Alrighty there.
Hey,
Thank
Alex.
you guys for having me on the show again.
All right, Alex. Thanks for calling in. And enjoy Bandamere. That's going to be great up there.
Thank you.
Take care now.
Bye.
All right, Bruce, we are about done for the day. I mean, and we talked about, what's going on. We can't really talk about it. I know I'm going to be at Irwindale Saturday night and Thursday night this week. We're going to be racing both nights on the drags. Friday night, I'll be down at Buena Park, Gary's car show at the Elks Lodge. Normally about 150, 200 cars show up there. It's a great place. It's going to be some great weekend racing. Hope you come out to Irwindale. If you do, say hello.
Man, got to do that. I got to do that. I have no idea what's happening car next for me, but, repair this and then repair lots of things. Hey, meantime, I guess we'll be on the road. I should have pointed this out at the start of the show, by the way, Bob. Both Dynamite and Lucky Hudson on the road, essentially on assignment, but they're going to be back next week right here.
Yes, they will.
So let's make it a date, but a guy date,
A guy date, yeah.
All right.
Bro date.
Yeah. The encore presentation of tonight's show coming up next, right here at Speed Scene Live. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back next week.
Good night.
Speed Scene Live TV, the #1 online motorsports TV show. Brought to you by Curry Racing Rear Ends, M&H Tires, Hedman Hustler Headers, Aeromotive Fuel Systems, and theFoat.com.